Glad head up. Wagner paint. Touchdown! Wow!
-10.
Bobby Portis, the Magic Man, arrives just in time.
9.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
8.
Wilson will keep it. Nobody expected that.
7.
You gotta get out of here! Bobby Wernes with a go-ahead home run. Oh my goodness!
6.
And that is Ken Hamlin.
5.
Number 5, you better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
4.
Look at the moves by Woodson.
Tough shot.
3.
Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts.
2.
This is for Armstrong that goes down and makes a nice catch.
1.
Arkansas gets it right back. Council! And he lays it in.
This is The Morning Rush.
Weekdays from 9 to 11 with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Glad head up. Wagner paint. Touchdown! Wow!
-10.
Bobby Portis, the Magic Man, arrives just in time.
9.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
8.
Wilson will keep it. Nobody expected that.
7.
You gotta get out of here! Bobby Wernes with a go-ahead home run.
It was very stressful, but, I've come to the conclusion that this team is going to dig themselves in we're already in a deep hole. We're not going to be able to dig out of it this year. We're not.
Man, they got to do better, man. We playing at home. When you at home, you got a 6-man on the floor. You have to do better.
I don't know what's going on with John L. Davis and his wrist, but that guy needs to sit until it's ready. Like that, I've never seen somebody miss that many open shots.
We're playing in Bud Walton, and the referees act like we're playing on the road.
There's something out there as far as their connectivity on offense right now. Defensively, that was a whole lot better than what they did the first 2 games. Even though they gave up the offensive rebounds, they just kept fighting.
This is The Morning Rush.
Is there anything better than post-game radio? I mean, I love all sorts of radio, weekly radio, weekend radio, but post-game radio has always been my favorite. Football, basketball, baseball, it's the most fun. People are either super excited, super disappointed. In the case of Saturday, 71-63, the final inside of Bud Walton Arena. You held a really, really good offensive team, the Florida Gators, to well below their season total, and yet you still lost the basketball game to a ranked team, I might add. But, Tommy, plenty of reactions that Colton and Matt took after the game, and we'll probably take some here in the next 2 hours on a Hot Take Monday.
And it's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. They have dug out of the snow, and they are ready to help you this week. If you need anything serviced, parts and service department is open. Maybe you've been thinking as you've been home all the great places you'd like to go this spring and summer in your new RV. They can help you with that as well. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Make a free throw when they matter.
Oh, that was one of the things that Arkansas struggled with Saturday afternoon inside of Bud Walton Arena. They could just hit shots. I mean, offensively, this team does not look good at all. They look out of sorts in SEC play. The refs, I know that one caller thought it was the refs, but the refs had nothing to do with that loss whatsoever. Arkansas couldn't throw it in the ocean for a good chunk of that basketball game. I mean, again, you look at their totals, and I feel like I'm just repeating the same thing after the game. 3 of 16 from the three-point line, 24 of 35 from the free throw line. Unfortunately for Boogie Flan, who they're putting all this offensive load on him, Tommy, he is 14 of 48 in SEC play, 29%. And there's plenty. Again, I don't want to single out Boogie as a true freshman. He's still trying to, learn what SEC basketball is all about. But there are several players like John L. Davis, for example. He's 4 of 21 in SEC play. So there are guys defensively, again, 71 points. You can beat Florida by giving up 71 points to them. But it's the offensive woes that continue to plague this team.
How many points? 71? I mean, this is a team that scored 100 and lost at Kentucky. I don't know. I don't have all the SEC stats up there. I don't know if you have where Florida ranks in scoring.
Tell you in 2 seconds.
They've got to be up like, if they're probably not 1, but I bet they're 2 or 3. I mean, 71. If you want to look for the silver lining from Saturday, it's the fact that you held Florida to 71 points and under 40% shooting. They're as potent an offensive bunch in SEC play that we've seen. So there's a bright spot, but you got to make layups, particularly uncontested layups, and like Coach said, make a freaking free throw.
Yeah, this was. I mean,
make a free throw when they matter,
and they did matter on Saturday. Florida, at least in conference thus far, is number 6 in offensive efficiency. But
how
it
many
seems
points
like
per game?
I don't have. They're 8th in effective field goal percentage. But again, these statistics, they've gone up against some pretty good teams thus far. You mentioned the 100 that they put on Kentucky earlier this season, and Kentucky is going to be side by side with Arkansas this entire season because of Cal's departure and everything else. Here's something that at least that was brought to my attention that I think is a good point to make. So I double checked this morning. To my knowledge, unless I just missed a guy, I looked at Kentucky's roster last year versus this year. There's not a single player on that roster. So the point is, you can't use that excuse for Arkansas. The entire, because, I mean, at least Trevin was back. And my personal opinion, I give Cal credit for trying something new with this 9-player roster, basically. He's not going to do this from here on out. Yeah. There's been too many injuries. There's not enough depth. If one guy's having an off game, it affects the entire team. I hope that he doesn't go back to like 6 freshmen bringing in, but he's not going to do this next year. So the point, again, I want to go back to the original Kentucky thing. You can't use that as an excuse for Arkansas on an 0-3 hole while Kentucky has 2 ranked wins already this season. Mark Pope is in the exact same situation that John Calipari is as a first-year head coach. Like, you can't use that at all.
Well, Thad and Van Buren texted in and said, these are Kentucky's former players with Kentucky's former coach, so it's really Kentucky that's lost these first 3 games. There's some merit to that thought. All right, so that's where we're at the day of the portal. But, I mean, I don't think anyone's – I don't hear a bunch of excuse-making out of Calipari. I mean, when I hear him talk with Chuck and Z following the game, listening to his postgame, do you hear excuse making? Now, I do hear him talk about this is going to take some time to get put together. And your point is, hey, Kentucky's in that same boat. I understand that, but I don't hear a ton of excuse making out of the 4 walls of the program. They have pretty well hit it head on. We got to get better. We got to make free throws. We got to play better defense at times, and I thought they did on Saturday. You got to shoot better.
Did hear this too,
Coach? I know disappointment.
Just to start off the radio interview on Saturday, that was like the first thing you heard out of John Calipari's mouth following that 8-point loss. If you want to jump in here, do so at 877-377-6963. Time to get into our opening drive.
Pressure comes. Puts it up. Jack Sawyer hit it down the sidelines. Ohio State scoop and score. And dagger from 82 yards.
This is the opening drive presented by First Financial Mortgage in Fort Smith.
28-14, the final Friday night as Ohio State advances to the national championship. That incredible offensive line I heard all season about from Brian and Ozark when it mattered most. Gave up a crucial sack, and Jack Sawyer, Quinn's former roommate at Ohio State, sacked him, took it back, and now the Buckeyes are finding the Irish for the national championship.
All I could think is, where was that scoop and score about 14 years ago when we needed it? In New Orleans. But that was one thing. But he'll be a Buckeye, Jack Sawyer, Buckeye legend forever after that play that really opened up the game. What was that, 28-14 after that score? That game was much closer than the final score depicted.
Mm-hmm. It was a 7-point game.
Fantastic football game.
What was that? 2 or 3 minutes left to go in the game when Sawyer sacked him and then went back to the house and that. So we asked the question, hey, what would the semifinals, like how would those live up? Would that be something that is enjoyable, considering that the first round and the quarterfinal games, with the exception of Texas and Arizona State, weren't any good. Well, the semifinal games, like you alluded to, Tommy, were great. I mean, you had an awesome game between Notre Dame and Penn State, and then Ohio State and Texas essentially comes down to the end of the fourth quarter. So I don't know. It's like a 9.5 point spread for Ohio State and Notre Dame in this championship game. I expect it to be a lot closer to that. I would hammer Notre Dame to cover if I was a betting man, hoping, again, the college football playoffs since 2014 to 2024. Basically, we didn't really have good semis and a good championship game. This would be cool if we actually got that this year, considering, again, the games prior weren't that great.
Just get the committee off the hook a little bit, because after the quarterfinals, everybody, or not the quarterfinals, the opening round, everyone was, pretty upset with, hey, the seeding's off, and I still think they're going to do something about that. These games aren't entertaining. Something happened about that. And really, since the opening games that were on campus, every game has had a good level of excitement, some better than others.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been overtime games. Texas, Arizona was another game that Arizona State that came down to the end. I mean, there's been a lot of fun football to watch, and I hate that it's ending.
Yeah.
I heard someone argue that they've got college football fatigue at this point.
Because it's this.
I don't. I mean, I wish the game was tonight so we didn't have to wait, but man, there's no fatigue. I think it's been a lot of fun, and I wish my team was right in the middle of it. But, two brand names, Ohio State, Notre Dame, I don't know how it gets a whole lot better than that.
Now, we've seen the games being played on Thursday and Friday night. I know one team would be at a disadvantage with one. Is there any appetite to put this game on a Friday night with no high school football anymore? Or it's been so customary on Mondays. I know with the changes and whatnot, I would think you'd get a better audience.
There's a reason they do Mondays not Fridays. There's research. I mean, people just have a bigger social agenda. People have more things on their calendar to do on a Friday night than a Monday night. Monday night's generally where you don't schedule a lot. So, I mean, there's a reason they have Monday night football.
You're sitting around resting from the weekend that was.
Yeah, you had a weekend, so Monday's usually a homebody night.
Did you have a weekend? Did you do anything with the snow and everything this week? The roads really were. So it's because it's not as insulated as the house itself. So that was kind of a scary situation within, again, not even a full year being in this house. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to redo the plumbing, redo the pipes. This is going to cost me $1,000.
Tens of thousands, yeah.
Knock on wood, nothing happened. Hopefully
Insurance
it stays that way.
Up. Yeah.
Don't want any
and if your
that.
agent's listing now, they might want to raise your rates already.
Don't do that,
yeah.
Heath. I also lost my AirPods this weekend, which
Do you not have them on your Find My?
Is that your first pair that you've lost? I've lost multiple pairs.
That's
so
first pair I've ever lost. I asked my parents.
Were these like real ones, like expensive ones?
The pros are regular.
They're real. Okay. But you asked about the Find My AirPods. The only time it shows up is when you have them on, and I had them on the day before at the gym, and I brought them to Little Rock thinking that I would listen to it on the way, but I just socialized with my buddies the whole way, didn't listen to music the way down, and they fell out of my sweatpants either at my parents' house or my buddy's car or somewhere in between. I have looked everywhere, and I can't find them. And the deal is, and I feel like a tool saying this, but I can't go back. I used to think anyone that wore AirPods was a huge, huge tool. Like I thought it was the biggest DB thing ever. And then I actually started wearing them because I got them for Christmas. I didn't ask for them. I got them for Christmas or something. And now I don't think I can go back. Like
they're the best.
I have the old headphones, and I have the dongle, the doohickey that converts it because the iPhone changed their port or whatever. But now I feel like I can't go back.
Yeah,
or I have to go back.
The only solution I haven't found to the one problem I have is when you go to sleep and you're on your side, it still kind of hurts that one ear.
It gets muffled a little
bit.
But
I have woke up many times the next morning after going to sleep with listening to music or listening to a podcast or whatever, thinking I've lost them because they're somewhere in the bed.
Because they're somewhere in the
That's
bed.
me every morning.
Yeah.
Y'all listen to those on. That's like just to put you to sleep.
We're consuming.
I listened
consuming knowledge. We're
to your
consuming
podcast,
knowledge.
and that, I mean, 2, 3. I mean, your podcast is 20 minutes, and I only need about 3.
It's soothing. It's very soothing.
Yeah.
I understand. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, that is your opening drive here this morning, brought to you by our friends at First Financial Mortgage. Ethan, Emily, their entire team can help you out with any mortgage you have, first time, refinancing, whatever questions, he can answer them. He's been with the company over 10 years, over 300 5-star reviews. He's the best lender in town. Might be the best call for 2-479-782-9300. Or you go online at ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
All right, Hogs on the road this week, but they'll return home week after. If you haven't gotten tickets for the upcoming games, Coach Cal and the team invite you to join them for exciting games coming up at Bud Walton Arena. You can get your tickets available for those that have turned them back or selling them online. The official resale partner of the Razorbacks is SeatGeek.com. That's SeatGeek.com for tickets to see the Razorbacks at Bud Walton Arena.
So back to basketball and what we saw this week in Bud Walton Arena. A text from Ryan in Prairie Grove says he does hear a lot of excuses and excuse making every press conference. From, I'm guessing that is pointed at John Calipari. I think.
Do you think it's excuse making?
Well, you brought a phrase into my life that I hadn't heard. But it's like excuses or reasons,
right?
And like, Cal's not coaching him to go 2 for 16 from layups, but. Or, again, shoot a putrid 3 of 16 from the three-point line. A lot of open looks. John L. Davis, I think, went 0 of 8 in that game. And a good chunk of those threes were open looks. Again, it's a balance of, like, criticizing the coach, criticizing the player, or just pointing out what has happened thus far. I think sometimes his shtick or some of his antics and stuff, people would like love him and stuff if they were winning, but they're not winning. So people are pointing out certain things that he's done or said that is annoying. Like the clip of him saying, like, I don't even know, I think I have it here, like, I don't even know who our next team is or whatever. It's just like this one.
You know, this thing is a quick turn. I didn't even know. They told me after we got a game Tuesday. I didn't even know because all I'm staying in was today.
Well, if they win, that's funny, but they didn't win, so it's not funny. Like, that's the kind of annoying quirks that Ryan is pointing to, something like that. But at the win, it's like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But
I actually can kind of believe that because the schedule. I mean, when's the last time we had a normal 5-day week? We were talking about this morning in our staff meeting. It's been before Christmas. You've had the week of Christmas interrupted by Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I say interrupted, just the reality. The following week, New Year's Day. You know, then this past week, weather kept. I mean, we haven't had a normal rhythm to a week in nearly a month. So, I mean, trying to figure out what day it is and schedule, I can get with some of that, but man, I think it's a full-time job just being Cal. So, I mean, but there is a game Tuesday night, and this is a week you need to get healthy from the record standpoint and go 2-0. I mean, you got a real chance to win 2 games on the road this week.
Tyler says he doesn't like his accent. It's freaking annoying. Yeah, Phil. Well, Pittsburgh. Yeah. That isn't really
again. If he was 2-1 heading into this week, you'd think it's really cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That again. That's the difference on that.
I have no. I mean,
Titus
not winning enough games for my liking either. But I mean, I'm not trading.
Titus says he doesn't like Steve Sarkisian. He's so happy that Texas lost this weekend. It wasn't like you
never
were
a bad day when Texas loses.
You weren't just like over the top pulling for Ohio State. You weren't decked out in crimson and white. But if you had to choose the lesser of two evils, I think in most people's minds is the Ohio State Buckeyes rather than the Texas Longhorns.
Probably for most. I mean, I was just glad I was entertained by the game itself.
Yeah, no, I agree. Jacob Fort Smith says
I didn't like either. I mean, I don't like either one of them. I equally dislike both those programs.
Jacob and Fort Smith texted in back to our AirPod conversation and said he never made it to the MP3 player. So does he have like a tape recorder or a cassette? A what?
He's got a Walkman.
A Walkman.
You went from Walkman. I mean, yeah, you had the Walkman to the Discman.
That's way
y'all never had a Discman. I bet y'all never had a Walkman either. You know, the old school Walkman was cassette tape.
Tell us about the old days.
Cassette tape with AM/FM radio.
Not the way
then you went to Discman, which if you did it right, you had Velcro on your dashboard because your car was old and it didn't have you didn't have a CD player in your car. It didn't come that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you had the you had the Discman on the dashboard, Velcroed up there, and it would skip a little bit as you hit bumps and went down the road, and then we went from that to the MP3 player. I can't take you back to the 8-track.
I don't.
That's where it all began.
Whatever device. My grandpa used to listen to Paul Eels, Chuck Now, and then Mike Nail. Like, he would be at the game, he would still listen to the radio.
Probably a Walkman.
Yeah, and with those like construction style headsets.
Looked like he was going to land a plane. He had those type of headphones.
That type of headphones were the best in that situation. We did have NFL games this weekend as well. Houston advanced, blast the Chargers. Baltimore beat Pittsburgh pretty good. Buffalo crushed Denver. Denver had a great start and then just nothing after that. Philly beat Green Bay last night in Lincoln Financial. And then, man, what a finish between Washington and Tampa Bay last night. Here is the radio call of that game.
Snap good. Down kick. It is good. The Cardiac Commanders are the Clutch Commanders. They do it again. We'll see you in Detroit.
I hope Bruce Stanton did have a heart attack last night. Who's honestly the only Commanders fan I know. But this Jayden Daniels kid, like, I remember watching him last year. I watched him live in Baton Rouge, watched him rip up Arkansas in the second half. And that kid can just spit it. He's having, statistically, one of the best rookie seasons in the history of the National Football League.
So were you up when – did you stay up for the –
I woke up this morning and watched it.
I watched I was up because it was just an exciting finish. You talk about – I mean, it's your year when things like that kick go off the inside of the upright, doink, and go through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that ball should have come back.
Yes.
It's like the 7th or 8th time they've won on the final play of the game. Or like maybe it was even like as high as the 10th or the 11th.
Because they had the Chicago game where he threw that Hail Mary at the end of the season. They've had, like you said, Colton, a couple others. I mean, again, that's typically what you see from like in his 3rd or 4th year. The fact that he's doing all this and his QBR's off the charts this season in year 1 is unbelievable.
And I think Tirico said that was the 6th kicker they've used this year for Washington. That was only
Gonzalez.
Zane Gonzalez.
It was only his 6th game, maybe since 2021. This is a journeyman that's been in and out of the league. If I remember all that right from what Tirico said. So it's been shaky at best. It sounds like for Washington to get that one to go through. Nothing bad's going to happen to those guys till they get to Detroit.
No. Yeah. So we'll talk more about those upcoming NFL matchups this week. Again, jump in here, hot take. What are your hot takes from Arkansas's 8-point loss inside of Bud Walton Arena? We'll continue on the morning rush. By the way, Clay's a little under the weather, so he's not going to be joining us today.
All right, Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Hey, if you haven't downloaded the Hit That Line Now app, you can do so. Hook your phone up with your AirPods if you had any, Ty, and you could listen to all this great hilarity here on the Morning Rush. It's powered by Taco Bell. Whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. Download the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell.
We got our Hog Update coming up. We're going to hear more from John Calipari, his thoughts on Arkansas's game. Jonas Adu also had an interesting comment, one of the things that I took away. And again, want to hear from you, 877-377-6963. Arkansas's in an 0-3 hole in the SEC. Can they get out of it? We'll continue on the Morning Rush next.
You're listening to the Morning Rush on a Hot Take Monday, presented by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about? Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter & Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
As well as buy 3 get 1 free on all tires in our Meineke Car Care Center.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my...
The happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Super Bowl parties, Mardi Gras celebrations, Valentine's decorations, and more. Party supplies for 1 to 100. Shop the Party Place in
you can trust. Sawyer's has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyer's and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyer's, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Neuson dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wacker Neuson dealer.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey. Oh,
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Brazil flashes for a steal to the other end, and a two-hand flush in the corner. Nelly drives with a left-hand layup. No, tip won't go. Brazil at the horn gets it to fall.
Trevin Brazil had a couple hustle plays. You just heard two of them right there. He ended up with 7 points and 6 rebounds. Again, statistically, you look at Tommy, no starter, and with the exception of Jonas Adu, finished above 50% from the field. Only one bench player, Trevin, who just went 2 for 3. So shooting-wise, you end up shooting a season-low 30% from the field. Just not going to get it done. You hold one of the best offensive teams in college basketball to just 71 points, but when you only muster up 63, it's not going to be good enough to win against a ranked opponent like Florida.
And contested layups are one thing. You should make a majority of them or draw a foul and get to the line. There was more than a handful of uncontested shots inside that could have went and made a difference. So, I think it's a reasonable question to wonder, is this a good shooting team? And can you fix that? I mean, I'm not the guy to answer, but it seems like teams that struggle to shoot don't generally flip a switch at some point. They're streaky. They'll have games where, man, it looks like they got it figured out. They make 7 or 8 threes on 15 attempts or something like that for one night, and it's just never consistent. So I don't know if this will be a consistently above average shooting team at any point this year. I think it'll come and go in spurts.
Yeah, there was a interaction between Whole Hog Sports' Anthony Christensen and Cal, and it went like this.
2 of 16 on layups. Was Florida doing anything?
It was that?
It was 2 of 16.
It was 2 of 16?
That's what it says on the stat broadcast, yeah.
No way.
Well, that's at least what it was on the stat broadcast, not something that Arkansas wants, but it's been like that. And again, in SEC play, it's unfortunate that your only marquee win thus far is Michigan. And you've lost your 3 SEC games. You lost to Baylor and you lost to Illinois. So you're 1-5 in big-time games.
Well, and here's the other thing that's happened. They've gotten off – would you say this team in conference play's gotten off to better starts? I mean,
yes, it's a great point.
They've gotten off to better starts, and they haven't been the second-half team they've been before. Mm-hmm. That's the other part of the script that's flipped a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you look at – just reading from the box score, Arkansas's biggest lead was 9, and it was with 16:46 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
This was really about it ends up an 8-point game. It's about a 10-point game there at the end. There's a shot at the end. But point being, 2 of 16 on layups. All right, how many more of those you got to make? I mean, it didn't take long to do those math. You look at the free throws for Arkansas. Free throws for the game, 24 of 35. Now, that's a lot of free throws right there. And, so, there's places you can point out. But listen, when you're losing by single digits, individual plays no longer don't get lost. Stats like these get pointed out because those are the small margins that make the difference in winning and losing.
Text from Brennan and Fort Smith asking if they could play hard for 40 minutes with the change of scenery. What it kind of reminded me of is like 2 years ago with the football team. Like every snap seemed like hard. This basketball team, times like possessions just seem hard. They get off to those fast starts in the last 2 games, like you talked about, and then it was without Trevin's tip in at the end of the half. Tommy, they went 5+ minutes without a field goal. These stretches are they're hard. Now, again, Cal's trying to figure it out. Maybe going to a bigger lineup is the answer.
Do I got to play some different people? Probably. Maybe that big lineup is the answer for us for a while. You say, well, you won't shoot it as well. We ain't shooting it well right now.
Pretty straightforward there. Other news, some football tidbits for you. Arkansas, I haven't seen this confirmed by anyone, but it sounds like they're going to hire former Alabama safety Nick Perry, who was with the Seattle Seahawks. He's been with the Falcons and the Crimson Tide as well. So that was the position that Darren Wilson left for Georgia State. Sounds like that could happen for the Arkansas football program. Continue on football-wise, you did get some good news that A.J. Green is back at Arkansas.
Kid ran a 10-3 in high school.
but not as a running back like he was in his time here. It sounds like he's going to be playing defensive back, which he played at high school, I guess, at Tulsa Union. But that is the position that sounds like that they're going to also as a walk-on as well.
Yeah. So, things come full circle sometimes, don't they? So that was an interesting nugget. I think we may have even mentioned that Friday, or I heard it mentioned Friday.
Mm-hmm. Rohan Jones, another player, has been added. He is a tight end that transferred from Montana State. So another guy, and then let's see, one last. I think, yep, that's it. That is your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I don't know what that conversation is like, and I know Sam Pittman has talked about guys that maybe entered the portal and then decide to come back. Well, he entered the portal, left for Oklahoma State, didn't get to play because of injury this past season in Stillwater. Now has come back. So evidently that relationship was good enough where Sam Pittman and that staff felt like that he would be a good addition for this football team this next year.
Well, and clearly the personal relationship was okay, because it doesn't, when you're coming back as a walk-on and you're going to change sides of the ball, I mean, this isn't like, hey, we've got to fill this need. Sounds to me like they're giving him an opportunity, and that's why you never burn the bridge on your way out of town, because sometimes you need to cross back over. All right, we got more to get to here on a Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV. We'll have our SEC update in the next hour, also the Morning Rush Daily Question on the way in just a moment. We're brought to you by the Fence Man. 782-3936 is the number. They're out right now getting quotes done. If you need a free, no obligations quote, call 782-3936. They'll send someone out. They'll do the measurements. They'll get your thoughts, come up with a design, and get started in just a few weeks for you. 782-3936, big or small, industrial, commercial, or residential, they do it all at the Fence Man. The company we trust, the company you can trust. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Morning Rush Daily Question when we return here on the Morning Rush.
It's Hot Take Monday on the Morning Rush. Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for dad jokes.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Morning Rush vibes that keep you on your toes. From 9 to 11, every day the magic flows.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got coffee.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball to NHL and UFC, head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
With a new Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, $7 goes a long way. A cheesy gordita crunch stacked with layers of luxury. A Doritos Locos Tacos, extravagantly crispy. A beefy 5-layer burrito overflowing with cheesy indulgence. It's all you want and more. For less. The new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's Lux for less.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got coffee.
They might go by different names, but all.
The police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at CarpathSocial.com.
All right, time for the Morning Rush Daily Question brought to you by CartPass Social. Did the 12-team playoff and the seeding and the process we went through, did it do its job? Did we identify the best two teams in college football that will play a week from tonight for the national championship? Are Ohio State and Notre Dame the cream of the crop?
I think yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, you asked this question following Ohio State's loss to Michigan. You're saying no, but they got hot at the right time. It's like the NCAA tournament, I think. Sometimes teams just get hot. You wouldn't identify them as the best teams all season, but things play out matchups-wise. It gets going. Ohio State figured out that they have the best roster in college football. Notre Dame had that one fluke game 2 of the season after going to College Station and getting a win. But if you watch them, I know they played lesser competition, but they've been dominant, dominant for the most part.
What are they, the 7 and the 8 seed, right?
Correct.
You know, that's the other thing about this. If these are the best two, and I tend to agree, if they're not the best two, they're amongst the best 4, right? No arguing that.
Mm-hmm.
Any argument with that? No. So does that mean the process of how we seed these teams moving forward in a 12-team playoff, does that have to have some serious conversation immediately? Because if the 7 and 8 are your best two teams at the end and widely considered no worse than your best four, then they can't be seeded 7 or 8 and really have a legitimate format for this.
I'm wondering if Notre Dame was happy that they were excluded from being a top four because they got the host, they got rolling.
They can't ever be a top four under the current guidelines.
Correct,
because they can't be a conference champion.
But what I'm saying is that actually going to be ultimately be a benefit because those teams that were on a bye went 0-4, and
I'll be interested to see what the politics are on this and whose flex is the best. Is it the Big Ten? Is it Notre Dame's? Is it the SEC's? Because I think we all agree change is coming to the way this is done. But I think when you look back and the 7 and 8 seed are playing for the national championship, that tells you your format needs adjustment.
What can you flex right now if you're Greg Sankey?
Well,
you don't
history, but yeah, I mean, you don't have much to stand on from this year's, and maybe your point is, hey, we got some of the seeding properly sorted out, and you think about what if we looked at a playoff where, hey, these two teams should have been maybe the 3 and 4. I don't think you could deny Oregon the 1 seed, right?
They got just the worst deal of anyone.
And can you really say Georgia shouldn't be the 2 seed based on what happened to that point? But beyond that, I mean, Ohio State and Notre Dame Arizona State doesn't belong up there. Boise State, anyone watching the games knows that the way it is, it's got to change. How would this play out, and who would actually be playing a week from tonight if those two teams had the bye, had been in the 3 and 4 spots? You might have a different. I think you definitely would have a different result.
Your point about Greg Sankey. I mean, the last 2 years you haven't had an SEC team make the championship. You made them at the college football playoff Final Four with Alabama last year and then Texas this year, but your stick is not as big as it was 2.5 years ago if you're Greg Sankey. And how people respond to him, I think it's going to be interesting because there is a wariness about SEC fatigue, and the fact that the SEC failed ultimately in its goal of making a national championship for the second consecutive year is a lot of people are happy about that, and I don't blame them considering since 2006 you had someone either in the national championship or college football playoff every year since then, and just the last 2 years you haven't had a representative make the championship.
But I don't think the voice of the Southeastern Conference or its place in college football should be diminished at all based on those two things. Clearly, portal and NIL have narrowed the gap.
Do you think? I
don't think your voice should be lost or your place at the table. I mean, the music hasn't stopped and the SEC doesn't have a seat.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. Right now, they're doing this hole-in-one contest. Christian, Nate, they've been doing these videos of different course holes on their bays and simulators. There's over 500 you can choose from, but they're trying to see who can get hole-in-one, whether it's employees, whether it's people that come in. You think you can make a hole-in-one?
No.
On their sake, how many chances would it take you to if you had
thousands.
one hole? Think thousands?
Thousands. Yeah.
Okay. I would have given you
how long is the hole? How far is
130, 140 yards?
Yeah,
Just a typical thousands of shots. Well, they're doing that right now if you want to attempt that, or if you just want to come by for 9 holes, 18 holes, hang out with your buddies, watch college football and NFL. You can do that. Only one more college football game of the season, plenty more NFL playoff games. Cart Pass Social, the #1 indoor golf destination in all of Arkansas, 122 Grant Place in Lowell, BYOB at Cart Pass Social. You can check them out online at cartpasssocial.com.
You think you could do it?
No.
130 yards?
I would give you a much better chance, much better odds to do it than me.
130 yards would be a lot of 4 irons for you.
4 irons? Jeez Louise, that is a 130. Are we downhill or are we uphill? Wind? That's like a 9. Yeah, 9.
He says
a
with
9,
confidence.
A 9, probably a 9, maybe an 8 on a windy day in that situation. So, staying with the SEC, we'll jump back to this basketball game in just 1 second. You can jump in with us at 877-377-6963. I know you didn't. The Shea Gillis clip that I played on the show a week or so ago of him joking about, well, Alabama used to pay all the players, now it's even out and everything.
Yeah.
Do you think of any conference the SEC has cheated the most football wise? When I say that is NIL is a thing nowadays, right? So it wasn't a thing prior to July of 2021.
Okay.
Do you think these last 20 years have been above board for the Southeastern Conference? Or do you think?
No, I mean, are you saying there's been nothing against the rules
15
happen?
years, whatever.
In
Yeah.
15? Of course not. But do you think that that's also the case in the Big Ten or the ACC or the Big 12?
They're the best at not getting caught.
You know, that might be a
Tennessee,
good way of putting it.
McDonald's bags and everything. I just don't like.
You're not cheating. You're not trying.
Yeah,
Right?
the next last 2 years, obviously hadn't had an SEC team. Is that going to become what's going to happen?
Well, let's not act like this team's now hamburger meat here. I mean, these are still very good teams. I mean, they're just the gap has narrowed. Ohio State's never been way off the radar here.
Yeah,
I mean, let's not act like Ohio State.
They paid $20 million for their roster this year.
Right. Let's not act like the top of the Big Ten. The question is whose conference is got more depth on its bench. I think that's a hollow argument. I don't really care about that because we're not going deep in the playoffs. We're taking the creme de la creme, right? So I don't really care if my ninth team is better than your ninth team. That doesn't do much for me. But right now, the last 2 years, the best of the Big Ten's been better than the best of the SEC, and the results are there.
Let's shift gears back to basketball here. So, again, conference and superiority and whatnot, based on talking heads, it sure seems like the SEC has the best basketball conference by a lot of people's opinions and everything. Cal's in year one here at Arkansas. You've got LSU tomorrow night and then Missouri on Saturday. Two, I don't know if I want to call them winnable games, but even though they're on the road, I think your odds are going to be better at winning these games Tuesday and Saturday than they were this past week. I mean, can you even afford to split this week? You split this week, you're 1-4. I mean, I agree. I don't think it's unreasonable for me to say on a hot take money they've got to win both games.
Okay,
this
but
week.
let's back up and let's put some context, or at least to your point. I don't think we have all we focus on, or all we hear from. You played the montage at the top of the hour with a bunch of irate fans. Have we really stopped to consider who you played? Tennessee, Ole Miss, Florida. I don't know if you would. I don't die on the hill that Ole Miss is one of the best teams in this league, but they're a ranked team for a reason. But you played two of the best, 3 or 4 teams in this league? Florida and Tennessee amongst the best 4? Ole Miss is in the top half. You're gonna level off a little bit this week with LSU and Missouri. So I think also with 0-3, you got your butt kicked against Tennessee, but you've been at least put your gloves up and fought against Ole Miss and Florida. We're competitive.
Yeah.
That didn't get you a win. You're still 0-3, but I think we also got to pump the brakes a little bit and realize who you've played to this point.
Cal talked about the stretch a little bit.
And I got to be strong through this. As you know, I haven't been through a bunch of these stretches. This stretch could keep going for a while. And I got to be stronger than them. And I got to let them know this is all part of it. Teams go through this.
You said something interesting earlier, and I think I agree with it. If you're not a good shooting team, rare is it that bad shooting teams all of a sudden just get out of slumps and start hitting shots. Tommy, they're 16th in the SEC in free throw percentage, which ranks dead last. 16th also in effective field goal percentage, and 15th in twos. So what I'm saying is they probably are the worst, if not one of the second or third worst offensive teams in the Southeastern Conference. Now, at least the last 2 games, I know you held Florida under 40%. I think you held Ole Miss to under 40% as well, because I think they shot 39 and you shot 38. There's at least some defensive positivity, but this is still an offensive game. And if they can't score points they've shown the inability to do in big time games, then I don't know how they're going to navigate through the SEC to get to the NCAA tournament, which I think collectively we would all think is a disappointment, especially, and again, I'll go back to the parallel situation. Kentucky, being that Mark Pote's 2-1 in the conference, they've got 2 ranked wins. They had a completely new roster just like Arkansas did. That's who you're going to be compared to, and not just by you. You're looking at what Kentucky's doing more than probably you ever have. Back to you got to go back to Nolan and Pitino back in the day.
So and Kentucky's played Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi State.
Their only loss on the road to Georgia.
And I'm looking, that's a quality win at Starkville on Saturday. I don't know whose schedule's more difficult, but your point's right. Everybody's reloading. Everybody's got 11 or 12 new players. But at the end, what are we really going to judge you on? How well you played in March. I mean, that's ultimately. I mean, you got to get to March. I understand that. You got to get to late March. I get that. You got to play well enough now to earn your way in. But ultimately, you know, you have one bad day on March 20th or whatever it will be, and that will define your season. You have a hot weekend, and the Hogs shoot well that weekend, and they get to the Sweet 16. That will define the weekend. So, I mean, or define the season rather. You know, just in one weekend. So let's not cast any dice at this point. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, Brinkley, all there. And you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Chris and Lee J and their team, award-winning for a reason because they give you a great customer experience every time at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
All right, we got hour number 2 of Hot Take Monday coming up. We'll get into some NFL games that happened this weekend, some crazy outings. Plus, we know the national championship game between Notre Dame and Ohio State. We'll jump on that as well. Continued on the Morning Rush
Tommy
next.
Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash.
You get ready for the year ahead. Take advantage of our small engine shop special. Just $129 to service your mower or handheld equipment, any brand. Don't wait. This offer ends February 28th. While you're here, check out New Holland Tractors, Bobcat equipment, and more. Tough, reliable, and ready to work as hard as you do. Visit any of our locations or online at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment. Equip your future. Elevate your potential.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer. The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Upgrade your game with the best in golf from the Golf Nut. Whether you're looking to perfect your swing, find the perfect fit, or stock up on must-haves, the Golf Nut has you covered. Improve your game with our state-of-the-art simulator and expert instruction from Matt Brooks. Visit the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, and take your game to the next level. The Golf Nut, your game, your style, your shop.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Jupon, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks exclude free tax extra.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. Whether you're buying a car, selling a car, or taking care of a car, we've got you. Be sure to follow us on Facebook to see how you can take advantage of $1,000 your way on select road-ready certified used cars with warranty, as well as buy 3, get 1 free on all tires in our Meineke Car Care Center. Start your new year right. Call, click, or come by today and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny and cooler, or highs this afternoon in the mid to upper 30s. Clear and cold tonight, overnight low in the lower 20s. On Tuesday, we're right back to sunshine. Our high on Tuesday, right around the mid to upper 40s. And Wednesday, sunny skies, a high in the middle 40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I would just say I'm not set for the priesthood or taking one of those vows. I just don't know how they do it.
Florida was in that locker room going crazy. Well, we need to show more spirit on this court. There was one play that was spirited. What was it? DJ dunked it and then turned to the crowd. And where is that? Why aren't that? That's what we are.
This is The Morning Rush.
That was a great dunk by DJ Wagner. I mean, unbelievable play.
Wait by Boogie to the rim, blocked by Adu. Fland out of there with it. In transition, Wagner going to go all the way to the rim, and he dunks it with a left hand. DJ brings the crowd to its feet. Arkansas within 3.
I mean, to do that with your offhand on a fast break, I'm going to be honest, when that dunk happened, I'm thinking, all right, Arkansas is going to find a way to win this game. Unfortunately, Florida, just every time Razorbacks cut it within 6, 7, they hit a big shot or made a play, and Arkansas, again, falls 71-63. What are your thoughts here on a Hot Take Monday? 877-377-6963. We'll talk more Arkansas basketball, but I do want to jump into what Rick Barnes had to say post-game after Tennessee's 4-point win in Austin this weekend.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Award-winning service, award-winning experience when you go to Wheels RV. That's why they've been named Best RV Dealer year after year. Another reason why is the peace of mind with a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
So this is the first time I think I've heard a coach frame it like an NFL or NBA or MLB coach would. Just a little context. Chaz Lanier is the best player on Tennessee. He porked you for 29 in Knoxville a week or so ago. I mean, he just embarrassed you. 5 of 9 from 3. He's one of the better shooters in the conference and one of the better players in college basketball. Did not play in the second half of the game in Austin, where Tennessee prevailed 74-70. Here's what Barnes said, pretty straightforward after the game.
If you're not going to do what you're getting paid to do, sit over here, because he is getting paid to do that.
So that's, Tommy, that's the first time I think I've heard a college coach talk about. What are your thoughts on Barnes saying, if you're not doing what you get paid to do, then
I think we need more of it. I mean, it's accountability, right? What would happen at work if we quit doing what we just decided we weren't going to do the show. You know, we'll just come in. We're going to do 30 minutes today. You know, I mean, you're being paid to do a job. You have a responsibility. So I like it. Barnes is old enough, been around long enough. He probably doesn't care how that plays with an 18-year-old or someone in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
He's got enough credit built up, so I think it's refreshing to hear a coach talk that way.
So here's how we tie back into Fayetteville. If Arkansas supposedly has a top 3 or number 1 NIL budget, and is this something we're going to hear Cal say in the next week or two? I personally, I don't know why I think this. I think they're going to win these next 3 games, even though that evidence has shown you the contrary of that. I don't think LSU's any good. I know it's a road game. Missouri, I think won this weekend, but I think Arkansas can beat them in Columbia, and then they'll get Georgia next week, which I think will be their first road win. And then really that Oklahoma game next Saturday is going to be a pivotal point of their season. I could be completely wrong. I didn't have a good feeling about any of these first 3 games. Thought they'd be in an 0-3 hole. They are. But I just wonder, because that seems to be the fan complaint, is, well, if these guys are getting paid as much as they are, if Cal's getting paid as much as they are, then basically they're just repeating what Barnes said, is, well, they obviously can't bench Arkansas's players, but they're wondering, these guys that are not having successful SEC starts, is like, why are we, I say we, like air quotes we, it's obviously bigwigs are bankrolling this team, but why are we paying these guys all this money if they're not producing? And that seems like a pretty fair statement from
if it was the pros, what would happen? You'd be sent down to the G League, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your pay would be sent down to the G League as well. I mean, we want to teach these guys about the real world. That's what happens in the real world. You perform or you go home. If you can't sell, you can't stay. If you can't score, you can't stay. That's how the world works.
So here's my, I guess, thought. And we're 3 games in. You've got 15 games left in SEC play. Would this be the most Arkansas thing ever if you finally ponied up and it was just an unmitigated disaster and it didn't result in a tournament appearance at all? I mean, wouldn't that just be the most Arkansas thing ever, Tommy, if it played out like it could? And again, I don't want to jump off the ship just yet. You mentioned it earlier, 3 ranked opponents. You played Florida and Ole Miss a little closer than you did Tennessee. We'll see what plays out this week in Baton Rouge and Columbia. But that would just be the most Arkansas thing ever if this team did not go to the NCAA tournament.
I hope you're wrong.
I hope I am too. I hope I am too when it comes to this situation. But I don't know if, again, I just look, when I watch, they're not a good shooting team. And I can't get over, like, you're putting so much emphasis on Boogie Flan, who's 14 of 48 through these first 3 SEC games. And I'm talking about from just an offensive set standpoint, how much the ball is in his hands, how many shots he takes a game. John L. Davis, I think, was supposed to be a major addition. He's 4 of 21 in his first 3 SEC games. Like, those are supposed to be your primary scorers, and they're not using basically Rick Barnes doing what they're paid to do. So I don't know, with Cal going with this 9-man approach, which I'm pretty adamant on he's not going to do next year from here on out, I don't know where they can get offense from. I really still like Adu Thero's game, who gave you 17. Once again, I feel like that I'm always talking about him giving you 17 on post-game shows or on Monday shows after games. I just don't know where their offense is going to come from here on out. I really don't.
I like the idea. At least I'm willing to try. And like Coach Cal said, we're not scoring now, so might as well go with 2 bigs. Let's see what happens. Can you defend that way? I think some of it's matchup and who you're playing next. But I like the idea of going a little bit bigger on the front line with this.
Well, to one of those big men, Jonas Adu, had this to say after the game. We've got this interview up on hitthatline.com and our YouTube channel as well. Here's what he's just said about the team figuring it out.
We're still just trying to get it all figured together. Coach is doing different things every day in practice, like things he want to see, things he likes, and some things he doesn't like. So he's going to scratch it out and then move on to some next game. So we're still trying to work on that right now, trying to really identify ourselves as a team and, where the good reads are and like who we can play through at certain times of the game.
I don't know when, like, they have to have it figured. Like, what is that point? If we're talking about under the assumption that this team is still going to make the NCAA tournament, like, when do they have to have it figured out by this week? Can you even afford to split this week? Can you afford to be 1-4 after this week of conference play? I think, again, these games in Columbia, these games in Baton Rouge, you have an opportunity to win both of those games. And the figuring out, with the SEC being as talented as it is this year, I just don't know if there's, like, any time. Like, if you don't figure it out this week, I don't know how you figure it out. Because this stretch of games, like, you think about LSU, Missouri, Georgia. Like, Georgia just won this weekend, by the way. And then the stretch when you have Oklahoma, Kentucky, at Texas isn't any good, but then Alabama as well. I mean, it's kind of similar to the stretch you started out with, Tommy, where there's opportunities to win games. I just don't know if this team is going to be cohesive enough by then, Colton, if they can actually get it done.
Yeah, I go back to what I said in the last hour. Streaky shooting is probably the best you can hope for, because teams that don't shoot in the 40s, I don't, you don't have to be a 50. You're not going to be a 50-plus percentage shooting team unless you really go big and get a lot of your points inside. They're not probably going to be a 35% three-point shooting team, but they're going to have streaks. They're going to have weeks where, it all comes together, Ty, and that, you need more of those.
Text in from Hog Wild and Van Buren saying, Cal has absolutely played the U of A brass, the fans, even the media. He shows up when the cameras are on, and he big times the media by blowing off interviews and blowing off his own radio show. Kenny Payne's the real head coach here. Cal just shows up on game day.
Not buying that either. All right, back to racing this weekend at Oaklawn. Live racing all the way through May. Hopefully the weather is much better, although we got some colder air coming in. Be sure and make your plans to be there next Monday, a week from today, for the Byerly Turk Overnight Stakes. They'll have that next Monday on January 20th with live racing this weekend on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for Martin Luther King Day. Download the Oaklawn Anywhere app. Use the promo code RUSH25 for your $150 sign-up bonus with the Oaklawn Anywhere app from Oaklawn.
You're listening to the Morning Rush on a Hot Take Monday, presented by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Coach, I know disappointment.
This is the Morning Rush.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
To $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp. Refreshing. and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest? He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools.
Pretty exciting. First time that we've done a podcast, and we're going to try to promote Fort Smith Public Schools, what we do, our basketball at all 6 schools, the 4 middle schools and both high schools. And then, of course, we've got several big-time tournaments coming up, one that starts today. And so this is going to be exciting.
Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports. New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com.
Takes for 3. It's on the way. Yes! Yes!
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
So the lone SEC team remaining went down this weekend in Dallas, Texas, as Ohio State defeated Texas 28-14. One of the big plays from the game.
Henderson can make a house call from anywhere. And look out! He just went down! Travian Henderson gets Mullen back for Ohio State.
At the end of the first half, that put the Buckeyes up 14-7. They advanced to the College Football National Championship to take on Notre Dame next Monday night, 6:30, back in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So, Tommy, you've had several games yet. Georgia, I know we talked about they had a chance to play in Mercedes-Benz 3 or 4 times between the SEC Championship, their first game of the season against Clemson, and also the National Championship, but they're obviously not there. So a lot of Buckeye fans and Notre Dame fans traveling up north down to Atlanta.
Yeah, and looking at the long-range forecast, they may be greeted with temperatures they're a little more used to up there. We're going to have another Arctic blast come down. I think it's going to hit about the time you get to the championship game. So Atlanta's not going to feel quite like Atlanta in January next week. It doesn't appear.
Oh, sorry. All right, games in basketball this weekend. We were talking about Tennessee. They got a 4-point victory over Texas in Austin this week. And Rodney Terry's squad, similar to Arkansas, has struggled at the start of SEC play. Auburn got a 3-point win in Columbia, South Carolina. The big news from that, Janai Broome got injured, National Player of the Year candidate. Something to monitor when it comes to Auburn and what their situation.
Ankle, right? Did I read that right? Ankle.
Yeah, he stepped. It was pretty bad. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what his diagnosis is and how.
Well, it's
long
not a season ender.
No. But it was a bad situation. I mean, it looked like it turned over pretty bad, and it wasn't malicious or anything. He just kind of stepped on a guy's ankle. But they got a win. Alabama, maybe the biggest win in the weekend. They go to College Station and defeat Texas A&M 94-88. That's the best team in the SEC to me. Nate Oates has got an awesome squad.
That's impressive.
Yeah, they've got a really good team. Again, they come to Fayetteville on February the 8th.
I'm going to tell you, A&M's not far behind. I mean, A&M's going to be climbing tomorrow on the Pradco Pyramid of Power. That's a really good team and first ever top 10 matchup in College Station in basketball.
Yeah, they
you have to go there too later on this year.
You do. Unfortunately, they beat Oklahoma earlier in the week on the road. That was a big win for Buzz Williams and.
OU's 0-3 too, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. That's they again non-conference. They look pretty good. They've stepped in some mud early part of the SEC play. Kentucky, big win for Mark Pope as they go to Mississippi State and Starkville 95-90. Florida, as we know, beat Arkansas 71-63. Oklahoma lost at Georgia this weekend, like you said, 0-3 to start. They lose by 10. Ole Miss beat LSU at home by 12, and then Missouri beat Vanderbilt by 9 prior to them playing U on Saturday in Columbia. So those are kind of the games of the weekend. We're talking about the standings wise. Again, there are a lot of teams that I'm curious to see how they pan out. Auburn is undefeated. Alabama and Ole Miss all 3-0 at the top of the conference. Bunch of teams at 2-1. Texas A&M, Missouri, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida. So again, a lot of tough teams in the Southeastern Conference. There's also a lot of 0-3 teams, Tommy. Razorbacks and Sooners are 2 of them. Plus LSU, Texas, and South Carolina have all started the season 0-3.
Yeah. 5 teams there at the bottom. 0-3, like you said, OU, Arkansas, LSU, Texas, South Carolina. Who amongst that group makes the tournament?
Say between Oklahoma, South Carolina, LSU, Texas, and
Arkansas. That's the 0-3 teams right now. OU, Arkansas, LSU, Texas, South Carolina.
I'll homer up and say Arkansas. Knock on wood. But do I have to just pick one, or can I pick
No,
two?
you pick as many. How many of those teams make the tournament?
I would say Oklahoma, because they do have they had some good non-conference wins as well. Porter Moser and company just during the SEC that it is, and it's been a tough start. We know for their football program. I know they got the Alabama win, and evidently their basketball is going through it right now.
Only 1-2 team in this league. That's Vanderbilt. Everybody else is either 3-0, 2-1, or 0-3 right now.
Well, that'll be changed tomorrow night. Again, you're the late game against LSU. I'm pretty sure like your midweek games from here on out are all like late times, if I remember. Is that right, Colton?
8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock again. They're all going to be late nights on Hog Reaction for us.
All right. Well, that is your SEC update here on this Hot Take Monday.
And it is brought to you by Sassy's Barbecue. I assume no Coach Cal tonight since they'll be
Correct.
traveling.
Yeah, they're Chuck mentioned they're going to Baton Rouge, and they're back next week.
So it won't be any coaches show there tonight because they'll be in Baton Rouge. But get by Sassy's, have a great lunch. I know a lot of us have either eaten our leftovers or we're tired of leftovers at this point. After being snowed in, your pot of chili, your Dutch oven full of vegetable beef soup, or what you had, get to Sassy's. Tender brisket, award-winning smoked wings, honey sriracha wings, I think are the best flavor they got. But they got a variety, and their barbecue wings are really good as well. Great sides. I like the sweet potato tots, but the mac and cheese is awesome. The okra is crispy and delicious. They got several versions of fries. They're seasoned fries, and then the waffle fries are really, really good as well. So try it all out at Sassy's. Coach Cal back next week with his Coach's Show. 2 locations in Fayetteville, the original Red House on North College, and Sassy's Barbecue and Grill just off the Weddington exit on Steamboat Drive.
Well, the touch screen is not working.
Use that finger.
I was gonna play the. I'm doing it. It's not working. So the NFL wise this weekend, you did have several games of the wild card. That ended up playing out. Houston beat the Chargers 32-12. Baltimore beat their arch rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers, 28-14. Buffalo smashed Denver 31-7. Philly defeated Green Bay 22-10, and then Washington defeated Tampa 23-20. Set up for this next weekend. Texans will take on the Chiefs. That's the 3:30 game on Saturday. You mentioned the Commanders having to go to Detroit. Jaden Daniels has had an unbelievable season, former LSU Tiger, but the road's going to end in Detroit against the Detroit Razorbacks, I think. Tonight's game will decide who's going to play the Eagles between Los Angeles and then also Minnesota, and then Ravens against the Bills, Tommy,
all right.
For a divisional round next
So
weekend.
looking at the games that are up, obviously we still got one to be decided, but Vikings and Rams here on the Bet Saracen app. Guess the line. Who's favored and by how much?
Vikings, and I'm going to say
that's tonight's game.
Yeah, that's tonight's game. I'm going to say the Vikings are like 2-point road favorites.
2.5. All right,
Okay.
so let's get to next weekend's games. Chiefs and Texans next week.
I'm going to say like Chiefs by 9.5.
8.5 is the line. Commanders and the Lions.
Lions by 8.5.
8.5. You've looked at this.
I legitimately haven't.
And Ravens, Bills.
Bills by 2.
1.5. Yeah, you cheated.
I
You
didn't.
cheated. Yeah, right.
I legitimately have it.
You wouldn't. Yeah, you'd be
Just
better at gambling
guessed.
if that was
I
the
don't.
guess.
I a couple bets a year, but
Right.
yeah, that's a good setup for next weekend.
All right, so get the Bet Saracen app. You can look at all the action, and of course tonight's final wild card game. You can check out there. Arkansas's favorite sports betting app, Arkansas's favorite mobile sports betting app is the Bet Saracen app. Download it in the Apple app or Google Play Store.
Let's see if this
Coach,
works.
I know
There we go.
disappointment.
That was the reaction when I lost my AirPods this weekend, and now I'm gonna have to. I thought the AirPods, Tommy, were like $30, but they're like
no,
they're like
no.
100. So
Plus.
just like
Yeah.
just not a fan of that. So I was $30 down the drain, and my roommate was like, they're like $100, right? I can't go back to the old stringy headphones.
Did you have a case with them? Did you have a case?
I did.
I mean, not just the plastic case that it comes with, but a big case.
No,
the one that charges them.
Yeah, the one that charges them.
Yeah. You gotta have
they
that
all
case.
do that, but there's the pros, and then I don't know the difference, but there's about 3 different levels.
You got to have that case, stick an air tag to it, so even when they die, you can still track it.
The more you know.
Spoken like a guy that's lost a lot of them.
Plethora of knowledge right here. All right, Hot Take Monday rolls on, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands at the best prices. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
All right, when we return, we'll get some more thoughts on this 8-point loss and just the season thus far. I know it's not how you wanted it to go through 3 games of conference play, but can they turn it around? Some teams this week that at least look like they're winning opportunities. Will Arkansas turn it around this season? We'll answer that question when we return.
It's Hot Take Monday on the Morning Rush. Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new ultra matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Rupick, hear the stadium roar. Fayetteville is ready for war.
This is the Morning Rush.
To $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So you've got a favorite football team. Your painting team at the paint store in Van Buren gets you a solid primer, the perfect color, and a durable defense. That is what you want, right? Our team of Richards Paint and expertise always win for you. Whether contractor or do-it-yourself, we have the best team. The paint store in Van Buren. Go Hogs!
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pickup. Home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. Entrance to Riley Farm. $100 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental. 479-226-3500 for an appointment. Or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone. So it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. Beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips, and nacho cheese sauce. And a medium drinks for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Looking to build your own field of dreams? Trust the experts at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. With over 30 years of experience, we turn blueprints into reality, ensuring top quality craftsmanship in every project. From homes to commercial spaces, our dedicated team makes your vision come to life. Choose Tucker Construction and Remodeling, where your dreams are built to last. Call us today at 650-6453 or visit tuckercr.com. Mike Tucker Construction, building your field of dreams.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live
I haven't talked about that. Tommy and myself, Bruce Stan, were texting a little bit over the weekend. Was Isaiah Joe's performance in the Garden?
So looking for more. No way to go. Boy, when you're hot, you're hot. It was absolutely scalding tonight.
That is Mike Breen, Walt Frazier on the Knicks broadcast. Isaiah finished with 31 points, 8 3-pointers, and had really the best game of his career in the coolest basketball arena in the country. Thunder, they lost to Cleveland in that game, 40 last night too. So, Tommy, I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but that is as scalding as hot as I've seen him shooting since May. I think he had a performance like against Ole Miss in college, and someone was telling me about a game at Northside where he banged like 10 threes, but man, he was just on fire.
And did a lot of that with a limited number of minutes in the first half. Yep. They played him more because he had the hot hand. I read about it, but that game was unfortunate. If you were watching that game, then you probably didn't see a lot of that, but he was kind of keeping up with that as that went on. But yeah, what a cool place and cool stage to do that on.
Yep,
so.
Awesome for him. Thunder, again, one of the best teams in the NBA. Them in Cleveland, and Jalen and Isaiah just keep on clicking with that team. Playoffs will be here again in summer before you know it, and I would guess a lot of Arkansas fans, especially basketball-wise, will travel the 2 or 3 hours to Oklahoma City. It's a close drive.
Their start, late April or early May, somewhere in there is
finals are in June. That sounds right.
They have a lengthy playoff period.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, brought to you by WT Equipment. They have the best deals going on right now on model year 2023 that remain, and 2024 Workmaster and Boomer compact tractors Right now, you can choose from 0% financing for up to 72 months or take a $8,500 cashback discount right now. These are limited-time offers. You'll find them at WT Equipment. They have locations all over the state. There's one in Springdale, just off Don Tyson on 48th. Get off at the Don Tyson exit, turn right on 48th. You'll see the entrance just around the corner from there. It's all at WT Equipment, your partner in progress. See them online at WTEquip.com.
Text in from JD, Tommy, that he sent me this wireless earphone thing. Now people are suggesting that I try and find in the iPhone app. I tried that earlier, Mike, who in Van Buren texted us. You have to have turned them on within a certain period, and they only popped up the day before.
Well, I wish I'd have known you were going to lose yours. I could have got you a really authentic, great-looking pair still in the box at Times Square a few weeks ago for about $30. So
yeah, that is authentic. That is funny when you go to New York. Like I remember as a kid, Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards I was infatuated with them, and they had all the cards that were legendary, and you could never get them in the decks, but they just were out on the Times Square, just out in the sauce.
St. Elmo's.
And they not only do they sell it there, but you can buy it online and whatnot. It's fantastic. And
it's very pungent.
Yes, it is.
Lots of horseradish.
I remember Chuck and Z and Learfield party was there one night, and I was with some friends, and we were there in attendance, and I thought my
and we warned you going in.
Yeah, but
you were warned that, hey, be careful with the cocktail sauce at St. Elmo's. It will get you.
I'm like the kid that has to burn his hand on the stove, even though mom and dad say it's too hot. So I just take this massive gulp with the shrimp, and it sputtered out through my nose. I mean, it was. I've never had.
It's not it's not like a jalapeno or pepper heat. It is a horseradish clear your sinuses type heat, but it will get your full and undivided attention when you overdo it.
It's very good.
Last week, he was sent me a photo that he would be going to St. Elmo's, and I asked to
I need
a couple jars of that cocktail sauce.
Did he go to Wild Beaver Saloon too?
I don't think that was on his agenda.
Come on, Richard.
But appreciate Uncle Rich bringing by the St. Elmo's.
That was nice of him. All right, so back to the agenda when it comes to this Arkansas basketball program. Mentioned it's like, will they turn it around? I think the answer is pretty simple. If Nelly Davis and Boogie Flant get going, this team is going to make the NCAA tournament. But when you, again, shoot a combined, like in SEC play, these two are a combined, 60? They're 18 of 69 in SEC play. These are your two primary scores, at least we're expected to be. Maybe Cal has something different in his head. But if these guys get going, this is a capable team making the NCAA tournament. Now, I don't know beyond that what that looks like, but they have, I think, a skill set to do that. But Tommy, if they continue to put up numbers like 4-13 and 0-8, this team will not be in postseason, with the exception of the SEC tournament in Nashville.
You know, LSU's in the same boat this week. Tomorrow night, somebody's O has got to go because it's a battle of 0-3 teams. But you go into this week, and what's our perspective sitting here on Saturday night following the game? I bet we don't take nearly as many calls because people are going to have a hard time being angry after you got out of a 0-3 hole to 2-3. What will the mood like be next Monday here on the show? That's what has to happen. If you're going to get anywhere near 9-9 this year, these are the games you must win. They're also the games from a net ranking standpoint you must win. These losses to teams like Florida and Tennessee and even Ole Miss aren't nearly as damaging even on your home floor because of their net rankings. Yeah. Now, here's a chance to I doubt these are, I don't know where LSU's at, but I doubt it's a quad one. I don't know if they're in the top 50 or not. 75 on the road, 50 at home.
Yeah.
Well, they probably are in the top 75, so it probably would be a quad one.
Text in from Jesse in Springdale. Now, Nelly got asked about this, and he said his wrist is healed, but he texted in he needs to sit out until his wrist is completely healed or he gets his confidence back. Well, if you bench him, I don't think that's going to give him confidence.
Were you saying that in the first half of the Ole Miss game when he kind of hit a rhythm there? And I mean, so Is it the wrist? Is it that? I don't know. I mean, but he's shown a sign since returning that he can get the ball in the hole. So we've seen that already.
One of the other guys that you hope steps up that's injuries have kind of derailed him is Big Z, and Coach talked about him a little bit. He just has not been the same player initially, and here's Coach after the game.
Probably got to get Z in there. We need his baskets, folks. He's got to get healthy. He was out a couple more days, and we got to get him on the floor. If I go big lineup, then he gets a chance to play and go.
He only took 2 shots in that game, played a grand total of 5 minutes and 37 seconds. I know he's been dealing with that. Some guys just have bad ankles. I don't know if it's like you get him ankle braces or if that's help or whatever, but you think
that
about
high center of gravity. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hear guys say he's got to get tougher. Is that fair?
Yeah.
That he's too soft.
Yeah, it's a lot of times it's a characteristic of like what's the word out of the U.S. big men, European. Like it's just that's it. They're more finesse players, more skill. Mm-hmm. That's the word I'm looking for. And they're not as like if you're a guard, who are you more scared of in the lane going up against Arkansas, Jonas Aidoo or Big Z? Even though Big Z's a good 3 or 4 inches, you're more scared of Jonas Aidoo, I would think. I mean, Jonas had that big block in that game that led to DJ's dunk, and I know Big Z's has had a number of blocks this season. Arkansas actually ranks, I think, inside the top 10.
They get like 6 a game.
Yeah, of college basketball with blocks. And defensively, if you want to take positives away from these last 2 games, I mean, your defense has been pretty nails. I mean, you held 2 teams under 40%. I don't know, Ole Miss isn't that great offensively, but Florida is. So if you want to look at the cup glass half full this morning, at least you could say, well, their defense clicked the last 2 games. It's the offense that has been an issue. And I like you, kind of think that they're going to win both. I don't know if you said that, but I think this week, I legitimately think they're going to win both games this week. Maybe I
think
should.
They're the better team.
I thought they were going to lose both games last week. They did. I'm hoping that this is right where they win both games this week, even though, like what you said, 2 teams 0-3 tomorrow night. One team's got to finish, and one team's going to be 1-3. The other team's going to be 0-4.
Just an abundance of knowledge coming out of you. Just an abundance of knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, you said 0-2. You were right. They go 2-0 this week. An abundance of knowledge.
I'm just hoping that it comes to fruition. I was hoping I was wrong last week, but I think again.
I hope you're right this week.
Well, me too.
They need to right the ship, and 2 wins would that changed the mood for a lot of people.
Well, that's you were talking about like post games and stuff. Again, we were taking little snippets from different people after the game. I mean, there's Jason on John L after the game.
I don't know what's going on with John L. Davis and his wrist, but that guy needs to sit until it's ready. Like that, I've never seen somebody miss that many open shots.
But again, like you said, after Ole Miss, he shot the ball as 4-9 from the field and ended up with 15 points. But you go over.
Should we give Florida's defense any credit? Should Florida's defense get any credit for Arkansas?
They have a lot of length, but it's Arkansas. If this was a one-time thing that Arkansas had struggled shooting the basketball against one of the premier teams, then I would be more apt to give Florida credit. But this is on Arkansas. They just, right now, they haven't figured it out from a guard standpoint how to win basketball games in big-time situations. And if they do that, then it's going to, I think, affect the rest of the team because Boogie has the majority. I mean, how much does Boogie have the basketball? 50% of the time?
Yeah.
His usage is the highest on the team. And if he starts to get going, I think that's going to help the rest of the team from a flow standpoint and a confidence standpoint.
And if they go big with a lineup and start Z and Jonas Aidoo, what should happen to the percentage then, right? Should go up because, in theory, you should be taking more shots close to the basket. So that should solve some of the problems, getting more high percentage shots.
Text in from Mr. Pibb, say people keep talking about Flan and Wagner being leaders in scores, yet Thero leads the team and in rebounds this year. No one said his name. Again, Thero had another good game, 17 points in this one. Ended up, he fouled out, didn't he? Or am I making that up? Yeah, he fouled out.
And he would have had more if he didn't get 2 quick fouls early.
Yeah, two, and that's a good point. You could see, again, the first half, Arkansas went on that stretch where they had 5+ minutes in that first half at the tail end prior to Trevin's tip-in. that they didn't have any offense. And he usually is their, like, he's the driver, he occasionally dishes and whatnot, and he's the most physical, I would say, wing on the team. I know he plays the 4 at times, but he's more of a 3 than he is a 4, I think. And when he was out, the offense sputtered and didn't get going. And Florida wasn't hitting shots. They ended, what was the first half? They ended with less than 30 points, I think, in the first half, Tommy. But that
31% shooters in the first half.
Yeah, but that again, it was that stretch that Arkansas couldn't take advantage. Similar to Ole Miss, when Ole Miss wasn't thrown in the ocean, Arkansas couldn't take advantage from an offensive standpoint. They're exerting so much energy on defense; it's almost like they didn't have enough on that offensive end.
Yeah, but you look at the disparity. Arkansas had 3 of their 25 in the first half of the free throw line. 10 of their 38 in the second half, 24 of your 63 come from the free throw line throughout the ball game. So 18 of your 38 in the second half. All right, more to get to here as we roll on. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. I tell you the number every morning. You probably know it by heart now. And the reason to call right now, winter rates, but I'm going to tell you some of the best fishing. Now, I know the weather's a bit of a challenge, but if you look at some of the pictures and some of the things that I'm seeing from the White River and from Gaston's guides, I mean, some of the biggest fish of the year are being caught in this cold weather. A couple reasons. Fish coming off the spawn, they're moving around, and they're hungry. Second, not as many people braving the conditions to get out there and fish, so there's less pressure, and you can get into all the spots that the guides really want to put you in to land those whoppers. So, fish of a lifetime. One of those that you will certainly get a replica of and mount. One of those pictures you will forever show your buddies and give you the ultimate bragging rights over your friends and family from here on out. Those are the kind of big browns and big rainbows being caught right now on the White River. The place to go to catch them is Gaston's White River Resort. Ask about winter rates with great discounts off lodging for the next few months. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Couple quick Arkansas tidbits here, football-wise. Rohan Jones has been added as a transfer from Montana State, recent addition, as has A.J. Green in a walk-on role. Sounds like he's going to be playing defensive back from the different stories I've read. And then also sounds like, according to multiple reports, that Nick Perry has been added in your defensive back as your defensive back coach for this team, the spot that Darren Wilson left. Other big notable college football news outside of the championship we have ahead next Monday night. Carson Beck transferring to Miami. Now, Tommy, his girlfriend is a basketball player down there, but he's apparently getting paid. I think it was either figure I saw was like $3 or $4 million. I don't think that's money. You mentioned it last week. Georgia didn't feel like that was worth the investment, or maybe Clay said that. I don't understand why Miami's doing this, to be honest.
Georgia's found their quarterback with Stockton moving forward. Is it Cameron Stockton?
Gunner
Stockton. They have found where they're going to put their investment. So, I'm sure Beck was going to take a pretty good pay cut to stay at Georgia. So, Cam Ward moving out makes sense for him. You mentioned the girlfriend connection. I bet $3 or $4 million or whatever you just said there is probably maybe twice as much as Georgia was going to pay
him. In that setup, it's situation.
More comfortable. I think from a pressure standpoint, from a opponent standpoint, and from building stats to maybe, because there was a point last year where Carson Beck would have probably been the number 1 overall draft pick or a top 5 draft pick, 1 or 2 quarterback off the board. Now he's probably not going to get drafted with the injuries. Now at least he can build some stats up, maybe put himself back in a position to make some money in the NFL.
Cam Ward went from Pullman, Washington, and then just went off for Miami this year.
Where was he before that? Incarnate Word, right?
Cam Ward. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that not highly sought after out of high school.
Worked his way up.
I mean, pretty good story.
Well, think about Will Howard, for example, who's at Kansas State. The Kansas State's had a pretty decent program. I'm forgetting what's the guy's name? I say kid. North Dakota State, old coach that's there now. I'm blanking on his name, but they've had a good amount of success lately in Manhattan, Kansas, post Bill Snyder, and now he's at Ohio State, and he's on the brink of a national championship, which is pretty crazy. Speaking of Ohio State, a former connection there. Did you see Vrabel was hired by the Patriots?
Yes.
That's one of the.
So he replaces Gerard Mayo. Another Patriot man or whatever, off that former player of Belichick. I don't know how you define that. Not really off the tree, but they're trying to refine the right formula.
Apparently, the Bears and I'll continue the NFL news are interested in, according to Tom Pelissero, the NFL Network are interested in Marcus Freeman as their head guy. And Freeman's only like 39 years old, I think it is. So, I mean, do you think the NFL is that appealing from Notre Dame? Is it that big of a step up, you think? He seemed to have built something pretty concrete in just a short, I guess, year 3. Is that?
Yeah, they each have their own challenges, right?
Yeah. Maybe I'm just such a college football guy that when these NFL jobs pop open, I just think, how could you take that opportunity? Like Sark's getting, there'll be some NFL people that are seeing if Sark would jump ship from Texas.
And I would be, depending on how much you're required and dependent upon to raise this money for NIL, and then administrate it, deal with the players coming in, hey, I just heard in the locker room someone else getting $2,000 more a month. I want my dealing with that kind of nonsense. Man, the NFL doesn't seem like a bad gig all of a sudden. I think the college job is harder in a lot of ways because of all the non-football stuff that's dumped on the head coach now. So maybe a general manager alleviates some of that if that's the model college goes to. But, there's a salary cap, there's a draft, there's no recruiting. Man, you don't get the length of contracts and the big buyouts like you do in college, but I can see why that would be a very entertaining option for some of these coaches to move on to.
Do you think that that the game for the upcoming national championship is too big of a spread between Notre Dame and Ohio State? I mean, 9.5 seems like a lot.
I was talking to some guys this morning that at 9.5 they should get in early on 9.5.
On Notre Dame,
I think it's going down. Yeah, I'm taking the 9.5.
That just when I saw that initially,
I think it's down to 9 now.
Yeah, when I saw that initially on the ESPN ticker. And I know Ohio State has played some really good football, and they ended up beating Texas by 2 touchdowns. But that just seems, the way Notre Dame has grinded it down and figured out ways to win, that just seems way too high. Again, like you said, the money's coming in. The money might come in on Notre Dame. The line might shrink a little bit. I was just surprised initially at how big of a spread that was in this game tonight. You got one final NFL game tonight, Minnesota taking on the Los Angeles Rams. That game has been moved to Glendale, Arizona, because what's going on in California right now with the fires and everything else. So I'm wondering how much of an impact that'll have with the team that's not even playing, and not just the personal side of things with friends and family that are going through it right now, which is the biggest thing, but also not playing in your home stadium too.
Yeah, that remains to be seen tonight, but it's never a good thing, right, when you're moved out of your stadium. So yeah, never a good thing. Hey, if you're craving something sweet and delicious, head over to Andy's Frozen Custards, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, plus 2 locations, one on East Oak and one on Dave Ward Drive, just off the exit in Conway. When you get off the Highway 64 exit, turn right if you're going east, and it's right there on your left, easy on, easy off there in Conway. JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock as well. Satisfy that craving with one of their great flavors. In fact, you can mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors with their Pick 6. It's the perfect game time treat for your whole family. If you haven't downloaded the Andy's app, do that in the App Store right now. Andy's Frozen Custards, Conway, North Little Rock, and in Fort Smith.
So back to basketball here, and no games at home at Bud Walton Arena this week. You got 2 on the road, one Baton Rouge tomorrow night at 8. Then you'll play in Columbia at 5 o'clock on Saturday. What do you have to see this week to give you confidence that this team can make the NCAA tournament?
Wins.
I've kind of
wins.
Well, are you from the standpoint that they got to win both this week?
Yeah.
That you'll feel not just split, but
because you're playing that level or that tier of this conference right now. That if you don't win this week, and I know they're road games, then I think it's tough. So yeah, I need. It doesn't mean if they go 1-2, they're not making the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They go 0-2, I got real concerns.
Yeah,
I mean real concerns.
0-5 at that point in the league, and like we mentioned earlier, LSU also 0-3. You got 5 teams. It's kind of odd how the SEC is right now. You've got 5 teams at 0-3. You got 3 teams at 3-0. You got a handful of teams at 2-1. And Vanderbilt's the one team that's 1-2 in this league. Yeah. So that's gonna change pretty mightily this week. I think Ole Miss is probably the biggest surprise, being 3-0. Not really surprised to see Alabama and Auburn up top. I think Alabama's the best team in the league. With Auburn's injury to Janai Broome, we'll see what kind of shakes out, what his timeline looks like coming back. But Arkansas, again, can't be – the free falling has to stop, and hopefully it does tomorrow night in Baton Rouge, which Bo made a good point earlier, or maybe it was Chuck. You remember when Keith Smart and them got that win in Baton Rouge under Muss, and they were kind of reeling a little bit, and that kind of changed the trajectory of one of those Arkansas basketball teams. Maybe that's what you need tomorrow night, is just a big-time road win in Baton Rouge. And it's not like it's going to be the most hostile environment in the Pete Maravich Center, but you desperately need one. Hopefully it gets going. Things get turned around starting tomorrow night.
It's Missouri Saturday. What time is that game Saturday?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. And, Missouri's won their last two at home, beating LSU and beating Vanderbilt, both at home. So you got to stop that trend. Let's see. Missouri gets Florida midweek. So probably not, and that game's in Gainesville. So probably not a lot of hope there. So we'll, keep it up with it. We'll have Hog Reaction following the game, presented in part by the Stadium Shop next to Baum-Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. They've got everything you need to get baseball ready, all the hats and scarves and the beer hats and all those things coming in. Baseball's a sport. You got to have a wide range of apparel to be ready. You got to have the hoodie. You got to have the jacket. You got to have the gloves. But you also got to have the T-shirt for summer ball as well. So everything you need to get game day ready is at the Stadium Shop, proud sponsor of Hog Reaction. That's the Stadium Shop on Razorback, right next door to Baum-Walker Stadium.
Clay's going to be back with us on Friday. He was feeling a little under the weather today, so you missed him. But we got all our stuff in our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast in terms of this basketball team, what happened to the NFL this weekend, also some good college football semifinal games, which is nice. Hoping the championship will live up to that Ohio State-Texas game, back and forth all night. Ohio State prevails 28-14 in the Cotton Bowl. That's going to do it for us here on a Hot Take Monday edition of the Morning Rush, always brought to you by our friends at Wheels RV.
That's right, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. That's Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale.
We step aside for our friends Phil Ellison and Matt Jones. Halftime coming up next here on ESPN Arkansas.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the state.